Well, hey friends, it's Tracy and Violet from Tea Time with Tracy and Violet. I just got done making a couple videos and I'm using the same teacup, but just it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm finishing my pot of tea. I am drinking vanilla Earl Grey tea, Tetley tea, about 50% off. Gotta love that, those stickers. But anyways, I'll quickly show you her, which you will see her in the other videos, but that's okay. She's fancy. She's fancy. Let me just drink it a little bit out of her. Here's her skirt or pedestal. That's all gold. Isn't that pretty? And there you go. Look at the gold slipper down at the bottom and up at the top. And she has gold all around the inside too, which is beautiful. And then she has gold, like it's solid up at the top and then a little thin line just like on her outer elbow, but not on the sides. So you never know. You never know. From teacup to teacup, they're all unique. Royal Albert bone china, England. Yeah, I'm using the same blue teapot that was my mother's just because it's out and I like to hang out with her and she's here. But yeah, I just did a big book haul, which you will, I don't know if I'll post that before this or what. Let me move them because the book I want to talk about is underneath. There, I want to talk about Brother by Ania or Ania Ahlborn. I see Ania, but I hear people call her Ania, so I apologize. I don't know which one is her, how she pronounces her name. But I didn't do a refresh of this, but I really enjoyed this and I remember most of it. Yeah, I remember all of it, I should say. But I'll quickly read the back of it. She's an indie horror author. So, deep in the heart of the Appalachia stands a crooked farmhouse miles from any road. The Moros keep to themselves, and it's served them well so far. When girls go missing off the side of the highway, the cops don't knock on their door, which is a good thing, seeing as to what buried in the Moro's backyard. But 19-year-old Michael Morrow isn't like the rest of his family. He doesn't take pleasure in the screams that echo through the trees. Michael pines for normalcy, and he's sure that someday he'll see the world beyond West Virginia. When he meets Alice, a pretty girl working at a record shop in a small town nearby of Dahlia, he's immediately smitten. For a moment, he nearly forgets about the monster he's become, but his brother Rebel is all too eager to remind Michael of his place. So, yeah, this is a jacked up book. I really liked it. This was one of those books that I breezed through. I think I read this in like 2 days, maybe. It starts right off on high speed. I forget the opening scene, I think, let me just look. Yeah, is at the Morrow's house. It's a great big old farmhouse. And the way that it's written in this book, I can hear it like walking on the wood floors. I can smell the dank air, the small dirty windows, the old shuttered curtains, just the dust in the air. It's hot. It's everything. It's so good. It's so good. But it wakes to Michael in bed and he hears some screaming outside, which he knows the screaming. This has been going on for years. They have a girl out, this is right at the get, a girl tied outside, pretty much being tortured and stuff. And he doesn't like to take part in it. Michael is the youngest in the family. I forget how old he is. 19. Yeah. And he's the youngest. He has an older brother, Rebel, and he had a sister. He had two sisters, or has two sisters. But Michael came to this family. He is different from the rest of the people in his family. He is not blood related, but for some reason, which I won't go into, he landed with them, and they don't let him forget that ever, and make him think that they rescued him and he should be grateful he has a family to live with, because nobody wants him in the world. And they just beat this mother down. They beat him down to he like no self esteem whatsoever, but he does what he's told, because if you don't, you get in trouble. And when I say trouble, that's a nice way of putting it. But this family will take women of a certain size, a certain appearance, for the most part, kidnap them, take them back to their house, and torture them in unimaginable ways. And then, well, the way they dispose of them is disgusting, is all I can say. Not acceptable. Michael grew up with this. He has a certain role to play. He is no better than anybody else in this house, except he has a bit of a conscience and the other people don't. His brother Rebel, he's a bit older, not that much older. He is a son of a bee. He is. He is the biggest bully. Like, there's so much violence in this book. So much violence. Rebel, he's a mean mofo. He's just mean. And he gets meaner as the book goes on. And he always drags Michael along on his excursions. And he bullies Michael. He beats Michael. He makes Michael do heinous things. And Michael just does it because he doesn't know anything else. He doesn't like doing it, but he does it because that's what he's supposed to do. This has been ingrained in him, the acts that he does. He still does it though. So he may be a bit better than Rebel. Rebel is the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. He really is. However, the back of the book mentioned a young woman at a record store. This woman works with another woman. So Rebel and Michael show up at this record store, and Rebel is all confident and takes this other girl in the back, and, they do the nasty, and, they're attracted to one another. But Rebel is not one for relationships at all. He's just going to do the do, and brings Rebel along to try to hook up with this other girl that he's super shy in regards to, he doesn't know how to talk to girls or anything like that. But he encourages Michael to get to know this other girl. I forget if it said her name on the back. Can't remember her name. But yeah, the story is quite disturbing, and it's not just those two boys. The mother and the father. It shows glimpses of some when they're young, like children, and they try to do family things, but it's not right the way they do it. And who am I to say it's not right? But it's not right. It's not right. Like, there's a scene where they go to like a town fair or something like that, and they're just nasty. They're all nasty people. But this is all Michael knows, and the twists and turns in this book in regards to some of the women that are taken, the things that are done, the experiences that Michael grew up with. Some of them not all bad, but they would look bad to everybody else. It's just some of them are better than others. Some of the scenarios are more abusive than others, so the ones that don't seem as abusive, they seem, well, at least he had a little bit of good, but no, none of it was good. The story was great. I really enjoyed it. I loved the way, like I said, I could feel everything in this book. I could smell it. I could almost taste it, which is not a good thing with this book. I could, yeah, the temperature, the seasons, the dust from the tires, the noises from the cars, I don't know what time frame this book is in. It seems like it's in the 80s. That's what it seems like. Late 70s, early 80s, maybe. Which is fine. Like that's fine, but it's not cell phone time, you know. But the whole things. There is one scene where they go on a double date, and they see The Exorcist. So that's whenever that movie came out. I'm thinking of the book because I read the book. I think the book came out in 71. So whenever the movie came out, that probably came out in the 80s. Yeah, I'll have to look that up. But that's the first book of hers that I read, and I thought it was fantastic. And I have another book of hers. I forget what it's called. The Devil Crept In. Was that her? Anyways, I haven't read it yet. But it made me go buy another book of hers because I enjoyed it. It's very gory. There's a lot of trigger warnings. There's sexual assault. There's mutilation. There's just the way that these parents parent and the punishments they dole out. And the mother, especially, the father's no better, but the mother's sick and twisted, like Rebel is. Those two are two peas in a pod on some level. They love and hate each other, but it's just their way of thinking is so small, and they think this is what life is. And holy cow, it's a mind bender in the sense that, and I'll have to talk about the ending. I won't tell you the ending, but I love endings like this that was in this book. It just gives you a sense of, oh my God, well, that's terrible. It doesn't leave on a cliffhanger. It's not a disappointing ending. It's a horror story ending. And I love when endings of stories go right. Are so wrong in the right way, if you know what I'm saying. It's not like a happy ending. It's not like, oh, everything comes out in the wash. No, it doesn't. Some things you get some satisfaction, but then, yeah, it's just, yeah. I don't want to say too much, but I recommend this if you want something that's fast-paced. I found, I've heard some people say it's a little slow to get into. I didn't find it was at all. I really breezed through this super fast. And I just read a book, well, I just finished today, Kin. It's not the same story at all, but it's on the same level as that, I find, in regards to the gruesomeness and disturbing, disgustingness is. It's kind of like that. Kin might be a little more, but I'll get into that when I talk about that book. But anyways, I recommend this book. It is gory. It didn't scare me. I don't find it scary. I don't find this kind of horror scary at all. But it was like a movie. It was like watching a movie. It was interesting and entertaining. and disgusting in some parts. And you felt bad at some parts. And then you felt mad and happy and shocked sometimes. And I just thought it's a combination of all that rolled up into a ball and thrown at the wall. That's what it is. So, but it's good. And I recommend it. This isn't a very good book review because I don't want to say too much, but it's about this serial killer family that may or may not be cannibalistic a bit. That the kids grow up thinking this is normal and are taught horrible things to do to people and aren't afraid to kill their own family if they do stuff like, and they're okay with it. So that's all I really want to say about it. Pick it up, read it if you have the stomach for it. It's not so disgusting that it made me want to throw up or anything like that. I haven't read anything that made me feel like that, but it was just like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Yes, bring it to me. Bring it to me. And yeah, it was a really pleasant surprise. So anyways, that's all I want to say about it. And it's getting late and I'm getting tired and I'm done my teapot after this cup. So anyways, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay too. I still love you. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to head to bed here shortly. She's already snuggled over there. And I got to clean up my mess. But, yeah. Anyways, I can't wait to start this book tomorrow. And I can't wait to start planning my October to be read list because I got some doozies today. And, yeah, you'll have to wait for that video. Anyways, with that, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay too. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So, all right, guys. Well, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning. And I might see you tomorrow. Bye. Bloop.